my left, we have Jason Grant. He's going to be playing running back for us. We have our senior, Trip Joyner, who's going to be playing quarterback. We have Bennett Fulford, one of our linemen. And on the end, we have Gabe Gammalero, who's going to be playing some receiver for us as well. So we're coming into this year with a young team. Last year, we graduated the winningest class in Aucilla's football history. We've had a football program for over 50 years. And the junior class, during the entirety of their varsity career, had only lost 3 regular season games combined. So we graduated 9 seniors, and all of them started both ways. So very young and inexperienced coming into this year. But the kids have been very eager and working hard. We're having more varsity players than we've ever had since I've been here, which is my 11th year. We have 29 full-time varsity players, which is the most. We've only had over 20 players 3 other times during my tenure here as head coach. So kids are coming out. They're excited about football again. So have plenty of opportunities to play with that many holes due to graduation. Like I said, the kids have been working really hard this off season, had a good spring, and we're looking to build off of that. We're expecting some growing pains this year, but that comes with anybody when you have a young team like that. So just looking to get some experience and have fun along the way.
Hey, Coach, it's Ryan Kelly from WCTV. I know injuries sometimes were a problem for you guys down the stretch last season. To have so many numbers turning out, and how confident does that make you to have some depth later on in the year when the attrition starts piling up?
Yeah. Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you. Like you said, that's small school football, and injuries is always a big facet of what we do. People oftentimes ask me, in the local community, how's it looking this year? And I always say it depends on injuries. Unfortunately, towards the end of the last season, we had some injuries to key positions, but finish 6-3 like we did and go to the playoffs again for the 3rd year in a row. It's a big accomplishment. So we were proud of that, but that's last year. So having more players is definitely a blessing, but it's a double-edged sword in the sense that, yes, we have more players, but they're inexperienced. So, like I said, we have plenty of holes to fill with graduation, the seniors we lost. So we're just looking to get these kids experience this year and just build off of that.
And a question for the guys, as Coach said, it's the winningest program or the winningest class in Warriors history just graduated. I know a lot of you are having to step up into starter roles now. Just, how much do you feel like you kind of have that obligation to carry the banner, and how excited are you to hopefully keep this success going that Coach Colby's had?
I couldn't be more excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to start. I wish first game was tomorrow, but I'm excited to lead. I've been in the program for since my 5th year, and I played for Coach Colby for 5 years, and I'm ready to get it started. I'm ready to get the ball rolling, and I got plenty of confidence in all my guys and myself and my coaches.
That was our senior quarterback. Just to give you an understanding of our inexperience this year, he's our senior quarterback, as I just stated, but he is the only senior on the roster that has ever started a varsity football game. So that's just one example. But like you said, he's been in the program since 8th grade. We're going to lean heavy on the experience he does have. And these other guys at the table all started last year. Throughout the season, at one particular point in time with the other on one side of the ball. So, again, this is definitely part of our core group. We have more than part of it, obviously. But I'm just going to lean heavy on their leadership and their hard work that they've been putting into the program.
Okay, Coach, I had a chance. I typically try to check in with you guys at least once a year. One of the funnest places of in all of North Florida to watch football. Some of the most entertaining games I've ever seen. You seem to get it done year in and year out with what most people would consider to be low numbers. Talk to me just about what you've tried to build, even though your intake with the number of kids that you get every year is probably under 30. What are some of those elements? I know conditioning is a major factor alongside just being game preparations with some of your guys. And I know you have a lot of kids that play multiple sports. So just talk to me about the culture of your program.
Yes, it's a lot to juggle, and it's different from a lot of places. You hit the nail on the head. We stress conditioning because our kids, a lot of people say they play both ways. We say 3 ways with special teams. They don't come off the field. So conditioning is a big part of what we do. We want to be the most conditioned team on the field. And then obviously we want to be very physically and mentally tough as well. So we stress that. We want our practices to be as hard, if not harder, than the games to prepare their bodies and minds for Friday night lights. And then 2, we want to be the smartest team on the field and have the best technique and fundamentals. So that's really the core principles of our team. But like you said, small school, we have less than 100 kids in the entire high school. and they play multiple sports. So we don't get to have them specialize in one sport or the other. So we have not had a spring game since I've been here, which is, again, my 11th year, due to the fact that the majority of our football team plays baseball. So we wouldn't have enough to play a spring game if that was the case. And this, they got basketball going on in the summer, travel ball, these other sports. So, we just learn to adapt to what we have and we make the best of it. So that the kids know what's going on, and our coaching staff, as far as across the board in other sports, we all get along and realize that we have to share athletes. So it's just cohesion amongst the staff with all sports across the board here. And our kids, they know what is expected of them, and they want to make sure they're putting the work in for not just football, but the other sports as well. But with football right around the corner, they obviously put an emphasis on that. Those are definitely the key elements of what we contribute our success to. One thing I always talk about when I give him the most credit is God. We made our football philosophy based on Colossians 3:23, which states, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as if you're working for the Lord instead of man. So that's what we stress to our kids. We don't talk a whole lot about goals, wins, losses, playoffs, championships, things along those lines. But if we put God first, all that stuff's going to fall into line. And ever since we made that Bible verse, our program philosophy, that is when we've had our most success. That's definitely what we want to attribute most of our success to. Do those other things play a role? Absolutely. But try to put God first in all things, and everything else will fall into play.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. How we doing, guys? This is Andrew Jupe from VSN Tallahassee. Just wanted to touch base with you, Coach. Obviously, like you said, 11th year. What about this year's group has you excited? Not only the four guys here, but kind of the rest of the squad.
I would say their eagerness to get extra work in, as far as going to camps, participating in our summer conditioning and workout program, just looking to get extra work. This has probably been the most eager group I've had, looking for opportunities, just across the board to get some extra work in. So, they realize they're inexperienced, so they're looking to seek ways to try to get experience, off the field when in the summertime, things along those lines. So that's definitely exciting to me as a coach, to see players looking to get extra work. Obviously nothing can replace the experience you get on the field, Friday Night Lights, and then practice, things along those lines. But when you see people, coming in my office and asking questions such as, hey, Coach, are there any camps you're aware of that I can go to help with my skill craft, things along those lines, that's definitely encouraging and exciting to me as a coach.
Coach Roberts, Rory Chirac with the Tallahassee Democrat. The pandemic it affects everyone in different ways. And now a year after, just speak about it from the small schools perspective and how you guys have adjusted. I mean, look at us now where we're doing this via Zoom, and normally we're at the Holiday Inn on Appalachia Road in Tallahassee doing this.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you, Roy. It's a great question. We had our sports banquet in May, so just a couple months ago. One of the first things I talked about was, as Ryan was talking about, we had some injuries at the end of the year. We didn't finish like we wanted to, but still went 6-3, went to the playoffs. But I told our parents and everybody at the banquet, I said, a big accomplishment that we had this past year was we finished our season as scheduled once everybody started up and got the official okay from the state. We didn't have one player going to quarantine, and we finished every game on our schedule. So that was a big accomplishment, because if we had just one or two starters that had to go into quarantine, being a small school, that would have affected us drastically. So we have proper mitigation strategies in place. Our players bought into that. That doesn't mean they necessarily liked it, but they understood the reasoning behind it. Like you said, we're in an ever-changing world, and this year is year 2 since the pandemic has hit. Like you said, we're doing this via Zoom. We appreciate 4 Quarters and everything they do for our student athletes. We're definitely glad to be doing this, but we're still expecting some changes from what we're accustomed to going into this year. So we're hoping for the best, and we're working like this year's like any other year as far as their preparation, and just telling our kids, what we preached to them last year. You don't know when your last game is going to be due to this pandemic, so make the most of it. It goes back to our program's philosophy, Colossians 3:23, and that's just to make the most of every moment in practice in games. And we're going to continue that as far as appreciative to our athletes to make the most of every single moment because we don't know what tomorrow holds.